Stuart Young, who stepped in after Keith Rowley's resignation. Top priorities: tackling crime, boosting jobs, and reopening the Children's Hospital. Basard Bissessar says it's time to, quote, get the nation back on track. Well, come May 1st, Government House will host the first ever Governor General's Boys Conference and a retreat. Around 150 boys from across the country aged 12 to 19 are expected to participate. The event promises to empower young minds and build future leaders. Jack Thompson, Permanent Secretary at the Office of the Governor General, shared that Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Cynthia Pratt, is eager to welcome the participants. A historic event and a step towards shaping tomorrow's leaders. We can't wait to see what these young minds will achieve. And it's National Bugs Bunny Day, and you know what that means. It's time to say, what's up, Doc? Bugs first hopped onto the scene in 1938 in Porky's hare hunt, but it was a wild hare in 1940 that gave us the fully fledged prankster we know and love. With his sharp wit and even sharper carrots, Bugs quickly became the king of Looney Tunes. Voiced by Mel Blanc for nearly 50 years, Bugs showed us all how to outwit anyone and look cool while doing it. From beauty and boldness to sips and social stars, we've got the glow-up guide you didn't know you needed. We're diving into Omorphia style secrets. Let's raise a glass at Hennessy's masterclass with Commonwealth Brewery and catching up with Lady E on the TikTok challenge that's taking the Bahamas viral. Stick around, you're watching What's Trending.
During an address to the Eleuthera Business Outlook 2025, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, spoke on the improvements and opportunities achieved for the island of Eleuthera.
Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to these matters, we also know that there has been extensive work done and underway as it relates to infrastructure on the island. 63 miles of roads being completed, with 28 already completed. Water mains connecting John Miller's and Bannerman Town. New storage facilities for water in Governor's Harbour in North Eleuthera and in Bryland. And the list goes on. In the first 2 months of 2025, Eleuthera recorded almost 18,000 stopover visitors, a remarkable 34% increase over the same period last year. North Eleuthera, Governor's Harbour and Rock Sound airports are now welcoming direct, non-stop flights from major U.S. hubs including Miami, Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte, Orlando, and West Palm Beach. In total, 6 international carriers come to Eleuthera. Disney Lighthouse Point is meeting expectations to generate $355 million in government revenues over the next 25 years. These figures highlight the potential for long-term economic growth and job creation in Eleuthera. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is real. And we want Eleutherans to be positioned to have first dips at the jobs and the spin-off business opportunities in Eleuthera.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Sun, sand, and TikTok stardom. One of the Bahamas' brightest stars, Lady E, is turning paradise into a platform. She's calling on Bahamians to show the world why there's no place like home, one viral video at a time. From the beach to the beat, this national TikTok challenge is heating up, and we've got the queen of feeling the rhythm herself to tell us all about it. Lady E, welcome to What's Trending.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here with us. So you're not just a celebrated Bahamian artist, but now you're also the powerhouse behind the national TikTok competition that's got everybody buzzing. Tell us what inspired this.
Thank you so much. Well, what really inspired it was Joy Jibaloo and the team of the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board. They came to me initially and they wanted some music to match the visuals, the dynamic visuals that Nassau and Paradise Island Promotion, what they provide. So that was easy, you know, because I have that love of country, from Islands in the Sun to Feel That Rhythm to now Holiday. So what better way to promote the Bahamas than to get Bahamian people involved in promoting us?
Promoting home, you can't
Yes.
beat that. So the competition is all about showing why holiday in the Bahamas is best. What are you hoping people will capture or highlight in their videos?
Well, we are #1. So I would like the rest of the Bahamas to make sure and show them why, you know, to our pristine beaches, to our culture, to not just what Americans call rice and peas, but our peas and rice, our macaroni and cheese, the voluptuousness and the beauty of our women. I want everything to be showcased to show the world why we are above every Caribbean country.
What has the response been like so far?
Well, a lot of people have been calling. They want to know, basically, you know, what are the hidden features that we're looking for in selecting the winners, but I can't do that.
No.
So the feedback has been really good. It's been tremendous. I've been getting a lot of encouragement from persons in my field to keep on going to promote the Bahamas. You know, we just had a Carifta track team that did so very well.
They did phenomenal.
Yes. So to keep that momentum going and letting the world know that the Bahamas is the best is just me trying to do my part. And I'm asking Bahamians to come on board so we can all come together to promote our country.
So what are some of the rules for entering the competition?
Well, you know, it's very open. There is no age limit, so you can be of any age. But however, if you are under 18, you can't win any of the alcoholic prizes.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But Nassau and Paradise Island has partnered, and they've made sure that there's a 4-day, 3-night stay at a luxurious Paradise Island hotel. There's cash prizes up to $1,500. Cash and go is on board, the 250 cash and go bucks. The Atlantis Water Park, they've given us some passes. Paradise Healthcare, they've given cash, and they've given a free physical. Basically, you know, that costs a lot of money. Exactly. But most of all, it's the cold, hard cash. It's dinner for 2 at a nice, luxurious restaurant on Paradise Island. So the prizes are very good.
So what are the rules, though? Are there any rules or are there no rules?
Well, you have to showcase...
What do I need to keep in mind?
So you have to showcase the Bahamas. In your video, whether or not you're dancing, we want you to dance. If it's about makeup tutorial, we want you to go crazy with being creative. But we want you to showcase what it is in your heart, what it means to be Bahamian. So that's the biggest thing, to show what it is that you think is Bahamian and why people should come.
So when does the challenge end and when will the winners be announced?
Okay, so we're encouraging everybody to upload your video before May 18th. It's already started. So upload your video before May 18th, and we're going to select the winner by June 7th. So you have a lot of time. Make sure if you're going to dance, sing, act, do anything, just make sure that the holiday song is what you select in your background. Tag the sponsors, and the rest is up to you.
And where can people find more information and join the challenge?
You can go on my TikTok page, which is Official Lady E242. You can also reach me via email. That's officiallady242@gmail.com.
Thank you, Lady E. We can't wait to see how the world falls in love with the Bahamas, one TikTok video at a time.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you. Well, it's not just a drink, it's a vibe. Hennessy is serving up smooth sips and bold tips in a masterclass that's anything but ordinary. Your taste buds are about to get schooled. That and more right after the break.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching our young young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that to be passed along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
When craftsmanship meets culture, you get more than a drink. You get an experience. Commonwealth Brewery is raising the bar with an exclusive Hennessy masterclass where flavor, finesse, and French heritage take center stage. From the pour to the palate, this is where elegance gets an edge.
I think the key message to take away from the masterclass today was that Hennessy's got a deep, rich history. There's a reason we've done everything. We've gotten to the size we are as a brand by getting incrementally better day by day, year by year, over 260 years. And the versatility of Hennessy in the product offerings, you know, we're here in Bahamas and you've got pure white for lighter and brighter cocktails. Maybe you're treating it as a white spirit in a gin cocktail or a light rum or a vodka cocktail. Instead, you're using pure white to get like a new take on that cocktail. For something like VS, you can go into some deeper, richer rum cocktails, or those cognac cocktails, those classics are gonna work so well, or the big tropical flavors of the fruits around here. Then you get VSOP. You can go into a lot of different areas. It can mix with things the way VS does, with a little bit more elegance, or in classic cocktails. There's a lot of different versatility in it, and I think you can get away from the fact today that they're not each just an older version of the one before it. They're each uniquely created for the flavor profile of each one.
Jordan Bushell, global brand ambassador for Hennessy, was recently in the Bahamas and hosted a Hennessy masterclass for mixologists, courtesy of Commonwealth Brewery. They aim to show them there are other ways Hennessy can be incorporated into drinks. This is a part of its Made for More campaign, and Hennessy is more than just a brand. It focuses on a sustainability plan.
One of the interesting facts about Hennessy is its devotion to sustainability, in the fact that, you know, now sustainability is a hot topic on everyone's lips, but Hennessy in the 1960s started a vision of being one of the most sustainable spirits on the planet, and we started that process, you know, we like to say before it was cool. We started that process because we realized we can only be made in a small region in southwest France known as Cognac. If we destroy the land there, Cognac's done. So we have to take care of the land. We have to be the stewards of the land, especially as the largest cognac house. We have to lead by example.
Executive mixologist Marv Cunningham participated in the masterclass. He talks about what stood out about the various brands.
So the SKU that surprised me the most was the Hennessy XO, extra old XO. So a Hennessy XO versus a rum XO, it's a bit more floral, velvety, some dry undertones. But when you compare it to a rum XO, I was really surprised because I was looking for similarities in the spirits, and I didn't get it because Hennessy XO far supersedes what you would get in a rum XO. So that's why I was very surprised. Very, very nice undertones, nice aroma. You get the dried fruits, you get the apricots, the raisins, but taste profile, it's a combination of velvety and dry.
The popular mixologist shares how different Hennessy variations can be swapped when making happy hour cocktails.
So using the different expressions of Hennessy, you can take a Hennessy Pure White and definitely swap that out for a classic rum daiquiri. You can put a variation on that, like I did. The VS, for sure, you can take that and you can make an old-fashioned. The Hennessy VSOP, which also has very bright, floral, fruity tasting profile and aromas, I would definitely infuse that or make a very good Brandy Alexander.
In describing the Hennessy brand and its appeal, Marv shared this.
If Hennessy was a personality behind my bar, it would definitely be fun and sophisticated. You know, from the sourcing of raw ingredients to the fermentation to distillation to bottling to even packaging. You know, their packaging is on point. It's beautiful, it's high-end. So, you know, that's where the sophisticated comes in. Fun is where you get to make these really fun cocktails. You know, no cocktail is off limits when it comes to swapping a spirit.
Well, next week in part 2, we chat with the brand manager at CBL for Moet Chandon and Hennessy, Paris Johnson, to discuss the plans for the Family Islands. Coming up, glow like never before. Discover beauty that begins with Omorphia. That and more after the break.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Diet-friendly special.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Makush Lapinder.
Luxury looks, island prices. What's trending's Deal Zone is open, and your beauty routine will never be the same.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some stores sell beauty. Omorphia, it embodies it. Tucked away on Mackey Street, this boutique is where local flair flirts with global trends and where every shelf whispers, you need this. In studio to show us what Omorphia has to offer is Eliza Fairweather. Welcome to What's Trending, Eliza.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here with us. So what do you think sets Omorphia's customer experience apart from any other beauty store or brand?
Well, what sets us apart is the idea of it. We're the spectrum of beauty. We're just not just beautiful beauty, but we're skincare. We're everything beauty. And what we have hidden behind it is not just beauty, it's also spa.
Okay, that's very interesting. So how do you stay current with trends while keeping the brands authentic to its roots?
Well, what we do is we do a whole lot of researching, and we have staff that are very knowledgeable and passionate about what they know and love about skincare and beauty as well. And so we bring to the island what no one brings to the island. So we have skincare products that no one has. Like, you can only find it at Omorphia, Bahamas.
So with that in mind, what then are some of your best-selling products? And why do you think they resonate so well with your audience or customers?
Well, when we think about beauty, we wanted to think about beauty with the entirety. So we didn't want to leave anything out. So we literally did a wide spectrum. And what we did was we got brands that are effective from past and present. And so when we talk about skincare, we just recently brought on our new skincare line, and persons may have heard about it, but you can only find it at Omorphia, and it's Mario Badescu new line, well, his line of skincare, and that can only be found at Omorphia. Then we also have our own skincare line, so we have that as well, so yeah.
So hidden gems. So you mentioned a spa. So tell us about more about the spa services.
Okay, so what people don't see when you come in, because it's an open concept, and you just look, you're browsing. We even have we have a little cafeteria where you can sit, have some coffee. You can have a little refresher drink and some desserts. Okay. But behind those doors is a whole spa that like persons aren't aware of, and so we offer services such as massage therapy. We offer customized facial for all skin types, as well as we also offer, we aren't going to leave the men out, we offer facials for men. We offer services such as vajacials for persons who have acne, like you struggle with acne, and we deal with that for the back. We offer waxing services, makeup services, and more.
That sounds like a lot. So I see that you brought some of your products here with us today. So tell me more about it, starting with this one here.
Okay, so we wanted to bring out a skincare line that was specifically targeting sensitive skin. Now, we normally know that there are persons who have sensitive skin where even the sensitive skin line is too sensitive for them.
It's harsh on the skin.
It's harsh on the skin, so they're having breakouts because of that. So we decided that we're gonna go all natural and organic. So what happens is these products are absolutely all 100% organic, so you won't get that abrasiveness, you won't get those breakouts, you won't get any irritation from these products simply because they're all organic. Everything inside of these products are organic simply.
What are the different products? I see you have a cream here.
So we have the face cream, we have the face mist, and it can be used as a toner. Okay. So, you know, your second step in your facial regimen would be your toner. And so we have a jelly cleanser instead of having a foaming cleanser, because we normally double cleanse. Okay. So you should be cleansing twice as well. So this cleanser, you don't even need to double cleanse with this cleanser, because the jelly, it's that good. And I swear by these products.
Oh, that sounds good. And what is this here? And
so here we have the Mario Badescu facial line, and this facial line actually is specifically targeting acne-prone skin. Okay. So what persons need to understand when they target acne is how to get rid of it and how to more or less control it. And so his line specifically literally causes everything to go away. And I know we hear about the quick fix, but Mario knows about the quick fix, because...
So you guaranteeing that Mario's stuff is working.
This right this drying, so his technique is, instead of pulling the sebum out of the skin, he actually pulls it out and dry it, and which actually helps to eliminate dark spots. Okay. So that's what I love about this line. So this is actually the drying lotion, and which is a most popular item. Okay. This is very popular, especially for persons.
Everybody wants flawless skin.
Right, and so this actually, you put this on at night, and in the morning when you wake up, that pimple that you had is gone, because it actually goes into the deep layers of the skin, pulls out the sebum, and it actually dries it away. So you don't have to worry about extractions. You literally just put this on at night, you wake up in the morning flawless.
That sounds good. Yes. So how do you choose what products or collections you carry? You mentioned that this is your own personal brand, this is Mario's brand. But how do you select which products you're going to carry in Omorphia?
Well, we do our research pertaining to skin types, and we do our research pertaining to, we wanted to cater to everybody. We wanted to cater to Caucasian skin, we wanted to cater to dark skin, and so we created that in mind, and we were like, okay, fine, we want to make sure that we're touching every spectrum
no one is left
of beauty.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those who may not know, remind our viewers where you're located.
So we're located on top of the hill, Market Street, in the plaza where Super Value is located. And listen to me, we're the first. When you hit that bend, you can't miss us because our billboards are so big and everything beauty. You literally walk in and you want to have a look.
Okay. It'll get you, draw
yes,
you in.
It draws you in.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on What's Trending today, Eliza. You are sure to have extra visitors now that people have seen what you have to offer at Omorphia.
Thank you for having me.
Well, there's so much more after the break.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Your home is your sanctuary. The last thing you need to worry about is rodents. Once they enter your property, they can be tough to get out. If you're concerned about rodents, call Rentokil Initial. We offer the latest, most effective treatment for safe, fast, and long-lasting results. From prevention to elimination, our integrated approach guarantees protection. For rodent control you can trust, there's only one name in the Bahamas: Rentokil Initial.
Diet-friendly special.
On Thursday's show, our friends from CBL will be in studio to let us know what's their plans for Cinco de Mayo. And that's how we wrap up another trending day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on What's Trending. Remember, the conversation never stops. Catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. Share your thoughts and let us know what you think should be trending next. We want to wish our director, switcher, Danny Michelle, a happy belated birthday. We hope you enjoyed your day. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more headlines, highlights, and heat. Until then, stay curious and most of all, stay connected.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. The Prime Minister tables a compendium of amendment bills in the House of Assembly. A rise in AI video scams prompts a public warning from a tech expert. And protesters march against the sexual abuse of minors.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the House of Assembly is back in session and Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis posed for a compendium of bills to be amended. That includes the Executive Energies Act and the Banks and Trust Companies Regulation Act. The Prime Minister says that these bills represent another step forward in the journey to modernize this vital pillar in the economy. Also adding that the mentioned bills are a representation of the ongoing commitment to excellence in regulating the financial sector by addressing specific gaps in the current framework. The nation's chief further states that in the coming months, the government will continue to strengthen the country's position as a premier financial services jurisdiction.
Progress is the result of clear vision and strategic action. We are focused on modernization. We enhance transparency and compliance, digital transformation, and strengthening investor confidence to make our financial services sector stronger, more resilient, and better positioned for future growth.
His full support.
To build on the existing legislative foundation with additional reforms to further strengthen our position as a premier financial services jurisdiction. The bills before us today represent another important step in our journey toward financial services excellence. With their passage, we will strengthen our regulatory framework, enhance our compliance with international standards, and demonstrate our commitment to excellence in regulating the sector. The Executive Entities Amendment Bill 2025 and the Banks and Trust Companies Regulation Amendment Bill 2025 have my full unbridled support.
In other news, AI-generated video scams are on the rise and experts say they're here to stay. AI specialist and Chamber of Commerce PR Chairman Brandon Hall is urging the public to stay alert and know the warning signs as these high-tech deceptions could cause victims to lose thousands of dollars, investments and more. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
If you scroll on Facebook, chances are you've come across these types of videos that are using familiar faces and auto-generated voices to scam unsuspected victims.
How to start with just $250 Bahamian and steadily earn $8,500 Bahamian every month.
Are AI generators the new face of scamming? Artificial intelligence is here to stay, according to AI specialist Brandon Hall, who warns that these tools aren't going anywhere. Hall is urging the public to watch out for signs like unnatural body movements and misaligned gestures in videos.
When you talk about AI scams, it's no different from email scams, for example. That still happens today. The prevalence of using AI in scamming is just another way for, let's call it that, profession to do their work. Because you have the ability to manipulate, because you have the ability to persuade people, as long as there is a need for people to want financial gain, there would always be a market for scammers.
Some of the videos circulating on social media featuring a fabricated footage of the Prime Minister announcing an investment deal, the central bank governor discussing financial planning, and even journalists from ZNS News. But from a technical perspective, Hall highlights key visual indicators that reveal the videos are not authentic.
even though that at first glance it may not seem so, you will see some differences in the mouth compared to the words, as well as the eyes. So the mouth and the eyes is the key thing. Basically, we as humans, we understand normal face reactions or expressions, but these AI videos, as of today, they're not perfect. So there is some glitching that happens.
The AI specialist warns that in a few years, these glitches will likely disappear, making the videos even more convincing.
For example, the Prime Minister, he wouldn't go on national television and advise his citizens to invest in an opportunity, especially if it's you put in money to get something out. So that's one of the #1 telltale signs of the contents being fraudulent. Another thing is, if you do find it interesting or want to validate it, you could always go to these government websites or even the news outlets, right? If he is going to promote something of that sort, it's not going to be from one source. It's going to be basically nationwide where they're going to distribute the information.
Hall acknowledges that AI is a powerful and positive tool, but like any technology, it comes with potential drawbacks. He stresses that AI-generated videos should be taken seriously due to their impact. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Yolanda Thompson, Everest.
Meanwhile, a group of concerned citizens taking to the streets to raise their voices against the sexual abuse of minors. They're calling for tougher penalties for offenders and strong parenting in the home. Shane Stubbs has more in this report.
No more child abuse. Those are the sentiments being echoed through the streets of Grand Bahama as a number of advocates, schools, and pastors came together in a march against the mistreatment of children. However, it's more than just a march. It's a call for the law to be taken to the furthest extent for prosecutors. Signs calling for no more silence and justice were hoisted high on East Mall Drive after recent reports of sexual abuse against children sparked public outrage. The march commenced from the Garnet Lavardi Justice Center and ended at the Harold Gregory Complex. While many are calling for laws to be enforced or changed, pastor of Life Community Church, Dr. Cedric Beckles, beckons for a stronger approach when it comes to parenting.
A lot of these violations and atrocities are happening in the homes. The laws help when something has already been discovered. If we can fix things at home, we could prevent the use of the law that needs to be in place.
Children are the future, says advocate Cindy Gadet. And as a survivor of sexual abuse herself, she calls for legislators to take more stringent approaches when it comes to offenders.
Our country is not only overrun with predators, but we are overrun by people who protect predators. And so this is all about just galvanizing the nation to care about this issue more.
Guidance counselors and schools play a significant role in the protection or detection of abuse. School Administrator Cassetta Grant and Chief Counselor for Local Government Junior Council, Raja Brown, outlines how schools can be a better shield of protection for victims.
What we started doing at JC Academy is every morning we greet the students at the door, so you could know who's having a good day, who's having a bad day. So that's a part of us knowing, too, what's happening with our students. We have a good relationship with our parents, so we know if anybody's having any issues at home, the parents could relate with the teachers at the school, and so we're better able to control what is happening at our schools.
Just being kind to people, that sets a stage where the person may feel, okay, this person is nice to me, and then they feel more open to talk about certain things. Then the next stage, they get help, and it builds a nice mental and emotional health.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
In news from the crime beat, Abaco police officers are investigating a shooting of a 16-year-old on that northern island. The incident taking place sometime after 10 p.m. on Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Preliminary reports indicate that the victim was walking along George Aubrey Boulevard when two vehicles approached him from the rear, and a lone gunman exited one of the vehicles wearing a mask and discharged gunshots in his direction. The suspect made good his escape, while the victim was transported by private vehicle to the local clinic to seek medical attention. His condition was listed as serious but stable. Police continue to urge anyone with information on this matter to contact 919, 911, or the nearest police station in Abaco. Furthermore, anonymous tips are welcome through Crime Stoppers at 300-8476. Once again, this is the matter that remains under active investigation. In news from Bimini, police on that island are investigating an industrial accident involving a 24-year-old female employee who sustained severe injuries to her head. The incident taking place on Tuesday, April 29, 2025. Preliminary reports indicate that it was shortly before 3 p.m. A female employee was working inside the laundry department when her hair was caught inside a pressing machine. As a result, she sustained severe injuries to her head before being assisted by a co-worker. Police and medical personnel responded to the scene and escorted the victim to the local clinic. There she received initial health care. The young woman was later airlifted to New Providence for further medical attention. She remains in stable condition. The matter remains under active police investigations.
And still to come.
A local doctor shares on the harmful effects of unmanaged stress in men and what can be done to protect your health. Plus sports highlights coming up when we return.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com. Grand Lacayan invites everyone to the biggest and most elaborate Mother's Day Sunday brunch happening May 11th in the Grand Ballroom. Enjoy live music, food stations, giveaways, and special performances. Tickets are on sale now at the lobby. Call 373-1383 for more information. The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites residents and Grand Bahamians everywhere to unite and celebrate our beautiful island in grand style at the Welcoming Home Grand Expo, July 2nd through 10th. It's a week of events that you cannot miss. Save the date and get ready for Welcoming Home.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. As the island undergoes a wave of tourism development, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is calling on local entrepreneurs to get involved. In this report, we hear from innovative entrepreneurs who offer insight into how Bahamians can stake their claim in the tourism industry.
If you haven't tapped into the tourism industry, now may just be the time, as major projects are underway on Grand Bahama Island. The Grand Bahama Port Authority is hosting its second annual Freeport Business Expo, and it is there where you'll find innovators like Jeremiah Nicholas, Director of High Water, sharing fresh ideas and real resources to help you break into the industry.
Just seeing the opportunities of everything that's coming to Grand Bahama it's really unprecedented, and the opportunity for the local Bahamians to have local business opportunities that they can expand into. So we see the opportunity by offering our services and our systems to locals here on Grand Bahama as being able to do joint partnerships with them.
Highwater is a smart locker rental solution company offering solar-powered locker systems operated through the company's smart app. Though based on Orlando, Nicholas says business models like this aren't just compatible with Grand Bahama, they're positioned to thrive in its growing economy.
So our goal is at the Freeport Expo to connect with people that are looking to get into businesses, that are looking for passive income, active income, and kind of explore the different opportunities that we could engage in.
David Wallace is a local success story transitioning from the insurance industry to launch a bold new venture. He says the idea for Pirates Cove Zipline and Water Park was sparked after seeing a similar concept in Antigua. That inspiration was brought back to Grand Bahama and turned into a thriving attraction.
And getting from the Grand Bahama Port Authority the lease of this land that was on the beach, we quickly decided to put in the beach operation, which would have been the best thing that we would have done.
Citing major developments like Carnival Celebration Key and the future revitalization of the Xanadu Beach property, Wallace says it's high time for Bahamians to take the tourism industry seriously.
If we don't do it, others will come from elsewhere and they will no doubt go into the business, and then we will be on the outside looking in.
Now, the Tourism Edition Business Expo will be held on May 1st through 2nd, 2025 from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Grand Lucayan Resort. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
As April marks Stress Awareness Month, a local expert is shedding light on the silent struggles many men face. Dr. Andy Lang of the Grand Bahama Resilience Center says societal expectations and lingering stigmas around mental health continue to keep men from seeking the help they need. He's now calling for increased awareness and education. Raven Davis has more in this report.
The short answer to your question is yes, Bahamian men are stressed out. How they are managing their stress is something else.
Stress left unmanaged can have serious consequences, as some men often turn to maladaptive coping strategies like excessive drinking, gambling, and overeating. That's according to Dr. Andy Lang, counselor at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, who warns these behaviors can lead to a host of other issues.
Things like elevated blood pressure, elevated cholesterol levels, other chronic illnesses like heart disease, okay, psychological ailments like depression and anxiety, okay, and so the way men manage stress has a direct bearing on their level of health, the level of physical health that they enjoy.
Dr. Lang's comments come during Stress Awareness Month and amidst a worrying rise in suicides across the country this year, a worrying trend that has raised alarms nationwide, prompting the question, what is stressing our men?
Some common stresses for men include financial stresses or financial problems, relationship problems, societal expectations of masculinity, as well as health anxieties, also work-related stress.
One key factor Dr. Lang points out is the stigma surrounding mental health. Studies show men often struggle to seek help due to societal pressures to be tough and self-reliant, a trend Dr. Lang believes can be reversed through education and raising awareness.
Letting men know that it's okay to not be okay, and if you are not okay, to reach out for help. And men can manage their stress by paying attention to what they eat, what they allow to put into their bodies, by exercising, paying attention to their sleep hygiene, so ensuring that they get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, by taking time to relax.
He mentioned sleep. I know I need some right now. Sports a good stress reliever also. Jay, what you got coming up?
I thought you had enough sleep in Exuma.
I didn't get any.
Coming up in sports, scores, some flag football, also Primary School Island sports, some pretty good races on the track today. We'll have those highlights for you.
All right, that's coming away next, but first a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Cause it's so beautiful.
Third Dimension is celebrating Mother's Day with 25% off housewares. Stop by Friday, May 2nd or Saturday, May 3rd and find the perfect gift to make Mom's Day extra special. Located on Yellow Pine Street, Freeport. Calling all singers, musicians, songwriters, and music producers from Grand Bahama. The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites you to enter the Welcoming Home Grand Expo Song Competition. Win $5,000 for first, $3,000 for second, and $2,000 for third. Go to ministryforgb.com for competition eligibility and guidelines. Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com. The Pro Cathedral of Christ the King's I Worship Media Ministry Inspirational is sponsored by Kimberly Oughton, Erica Sands, Gayla Wallace, and Ashley Munnings in loving memory of Gia Georgette Russell, encouraging all to build one another up in faith and love.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Have you ever dreamed of gifting a loved one their own piece of paradise? Now, with Devco's groundbreaking gift initiative, you can turn that very dream into reality. GIFT, which stands for Generational Investment, Friends and Family Trust, is a simple yet powerful way to make property ownership more accessible. Contribute to the 10% down payment in person or team up with friends and family to make it even easier. You can even pay online via direct bank transfer, then submit the required form with just a few taps. The person you gift then enters a manageable 7-year payment plan, or they can pay in full anytime. Imagine the joy of giving the gift of ownership, a piece of the Bahamas, a piece of paradise, right at your fingertips. Now, you can gift for a birthday, a wedding, graduation, Christmas, or simply just because. With Devco's Gift Initiative, you're not just giving a gift, you're gifting a bright future. Devco, where opportunities embrace and gift ownership. Visit gbdevco.com to learn more.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome 2 sports top in sports primary school track and field championships underway at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. After day 1 of competition, it's the Hugh Campbell Hornets leading, followed by Lewis Yard and of course Sunland Baptist Academy.
The motivation is there when you look at us just coming out the success with the Carifta games. I think it has the kids excited, looking forward to competing. This morning we had the heats at the 100 meters. We got some promising athletes out there. The future is bright. In the field events, the kids are... I've never seen this much athletes competing in field events.
Next in sports, Carifta athletes were honored today in the House of Assembly for their stellar performances at the games. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, also mentioned that groundbreaking of a 50-meter pool on Grand Bahama is scheduled for this summer.
With discipline, passion and grace, the Carifta aquatics and track and field teams represented more than themselves. They represented what's possible when a small nation dares to dream big and moves as one.
And finally in sports, scores in Week 5 of the Grand Bahama Flag Football League, Buccos Three Links took down All Nation 31-12 in Game 2. Overtime Lounge Lady Elite shut out the Tigers 21-0. Also in men's play, Sky's the Limit Rock Boys defeated the Knights 16-6, and the Angels got a win 6-0 against the Tritons. Ladies, and that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Are you a descendant of the Turks and Caicos Islands? Great news! You can apply for your status card. That means access to investment initiatives, grant opportunities as a business owner, job openings in both the public and private sectors, and becoming a part of a growing multi-billion-dollar economy. To join our community, complete your online form at diasporaregistration.gov.tc. Need help with registering online? WhatsApp Renee Mills, your TCI representative in Nassau, at 422-4348, or Cannon Robinson in Grand Bahama at 427-3917. Learn more by tuning in to Cannon Robinson as he speaks about our registration drive and other initiatives on May 2nd between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on ZNS 104.5 FM or The Light 8:10 a.m.
What is Business Fit? Business Fit is a group health insurance package offered by BAF Financial. What are some of the benefits of Business Fit? No deductible, dental and vision care, hospital room and board, surgical treatment, labs, medication and drugs, maternity, doctors, clinics, specialist visits, chemotherapy and radiation treatment, air and ground ambulance, and preventative care. Business Fit, offered by BAF Financial.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamasair gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
A new era is dawning in Grand Bahama. An opportunity, it's knocking louder than ever. Introducing Tract B, Bahama Reef Yacht and Country Club, Unit 1. A prime corner commercial property, footsteps from the Port Lakaya Marketplace, crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches. This expansive 4.8-acre tract is zoned for commercial and multi-use development. Envision a thriving restaurant, a boutique hotel, or an entertainment hub unique to your vision come to life. You can live, work, play and learn in paradise when you seize this rare opportunity today. Collaborate with DevCo and let's shape the future of Grand Bahama Island together.
Your number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, as the new budget cycle nears, the Department of Inland Revenue has a target it's determined to meet. Question is, what's the plan to meet the end goal? Also keeping up with the times, new banking regulations on the way. Find out the significant implications for the financial services industry. And industrial action ends in a signed agreement. We have the details of Bahamasair's new 5-year deal. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. The National Health Insurance Program sent for a makeover later this year as the government introduces legislation it says will propel the program towards a new phase. Our Corvell Pyfrom reports on what this means for its services and patients.
At a cost of more than $46 million a year and more than 160,000 members enrolled, the NHI program, first introduced back in 2016, has grown. But according to Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville, this growth still lags behind demand. Therefore, new legislation, he argues, is necessary.
This new bill that I'm going to lay, we will open the door, the next steps, because from the initial stages of NHI that was conceived in 2016, a lot of things have been changed, and this new bill is absolutely necessary. We could not amend the old bill. We had to repeal and replace it.
The next phase of the program, Dr. Darville says, includes catastrophic health insurance and providing essential medication for patients suffering with chronic non-communicable diseases. Crucial to keeping the country's healthcare system running effectively and efficiently is reducing high cost. The health minister says cost reduction starts with prevention and keeping would-be patients away from the hospital.
In the new bill, we will be able to do more diagnostic services. We will add additional services for breast screening, colon rectal screening. We will be able now to do more prostate screening, all in the attempt to pick diseases up in the early stages, and for NHI to have the means and the wherewithal to be able to allow individuals registered with NHI to access crucial medicines to keep these patients out of hospital.
As the new NHI program expects to expand services, its infrastructure must adapt to meet its new objectives, particularly as it relates to staffing. Dr. Darville says steps are already in place to fill existing gaps.
As we are on a crusade to improve infrastructural programs in the country and development in healthcare, we must never leave behind manpower resources, and we are definitely in the process of filling those gaps.
And the health minister insists the priority of this NHI program remains ensuring that every Bahamian has health care coverage. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
In related news, on Monday, we heard from nursing graduates as they protested. The argument that they've not been given formal appointments due to regularization processes being stalled. The frustrated nurses claim their setback was creating hardships and uncertainties for them, as the incompleted process meant the group, some who graduated back in 2023, weren't receiving salaries and are unable to carry out routine financial transactions. The nurses have pointed pointed the finger at the Public Service Commission and the Ministry of National Security. Agencies, they argue, have both been dragging their feet. Furthermore, they call it shameful that nurses brought in from Ghana were being processed while local nurses were still on the sidelines waiting. Well, Labor and Public Services Minister, the Honorable Pio Glover Roll, today addressed the issue, holding that there really was no need for Monday's demonstration. She also offered up this explanation for how the process really works.
There is a different process between what happens for our local nurses and our contracted nurses. They are two separate processes, and they're handled in two separate ways. Yes, the commission is also involved, but there was a facilitation of the process for the local nurses that has begun and that is almost at completion.
Now, over on the national security side, it's Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, also responding to the nurses' concerns as it relates to vetting. He explained this process is done by the Security and Intelligence Branch of the police force, and where there are complaints about delays, those should be brought to his attention. But he too reminds that there is a process.
When people allege that the vetting is delayed, I ask them to send me the names. Sometimes SIB discovers that they have not received any request for the vetting of that person. Sometimes they discover that they have received the vetting and they've sent it on to the public service. So if somebody is saying there's outstanding vettings by the Security and Intelligence Branch of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, I would invite them to send me the names so that I can follow up.
We turn our attention now to news from Parliament, where House members debated a compendium of financial services bills aimed at modernizing the financial services framework in the country while ensuring compliance with international standards and higher standards of transparency in the sector. Fern Carey takes it from there.
In opening debate on the financial services bills in Parliament Wednesday, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, noted that the proposed legislation will ensure that the Bahamas maintains its competitive edge in a rapidly evolving global financial services sector. He then provided more clarity on the intent of a bill for an act to amend the Executive Entities Act and a bill for an act to amend the Banks and Trust Companies Regulation Act.
These bills represent our ongoing commitment to excellence in regulating our financial services sector by addressing a specific gap in our current framework. Executive entities, as established under the Executive Entities Act of 2011, have become an important tool in our wealth management arsenal. They allow for specialized structures that can perform executive functions such as trustee duties and asset management, providing...
The proposed legislation will also deepen oversight in the sector.
The Executive Entities Amendment Bill makes a simple but important change to Section 13 of the Principal Act, ensuring that all executive entities fall under appropriate regulatory oversight, where before it only applied to licensed agents. Making the small change has significant implications for strengthening our regulatory framework, as the central bank will now have direct oversight over these entities. The other bill before us, the Banks and Trust Companies Regulations Amendment Bill, this bill formally defines the concept of a qualified executive entity, or QEE, which is an executive entity that is registered under the Executive Entities Act and meets specific criteria regarding its functions and structure.
Appropriate fees will be applied, while the legislation will provide for the Central Bank of the Bahamas to have direct regulatory oversight.
This change reinforces the Bahamas' commitment to preventing money laundering, combating terrorism financing, and upholding the highest standards of financial integrity.
Prime Minister Davis noted that the bills highlight the Bahamas' willingness to meet international compliance standards while agitating for those standards to evolve in a fair and balanced way in the global community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Meantime, a big revenue earner is looking to pull in all the dollars and cents it's owed as the government gets down to work crafting a new fiscal plan for the next 12 months. In this report, our Altavis Munnings tells us what measures the Department of Inland Revenue is using to achieve its over $1 billion goal. Listen in.
That value-added tax you reflected on your receipt is really one of the country's big money earners.
The Department of Inland Revenue has a forecast expected revenue collections of about $1.6 billion this year. In total revenue.
Total revenue.
And out of that 1.6, about $1 billion of that will be from value-added tax.
Still, believe it or not, there are many local businesses that are not value-added tax compliant. Basically, they're not paying their fair share to the government, and that's where the Department of Inland Revenue comes in. The financial watchdog monitors those VAT receipts and levies penalties to its compliance measures wherever necessary. The department's acting controller, Shonda Strawn, says by law the agency even appeals to banks for assistance.
If you owe value-added tax, really, we can section the bank. We call it sectioning the bank, but we can deem the bank to be an agent to send us the funds that you have forgotten to send to us.
Have they done that?
Really? Yes, of course. We've done that many times.
The DIR has even shored up compliance measures digitally.
Let's say you're a contractor and you're saying to us, well, you know, I earned less than $100,000, but yet we see where the Treasury has paid you $200 and we see where the hospital has paid you.
Wow.
And so we have now the ability, we have developed systems where we do analysis, computerized analysis to make it easier for us, meaning manpower-wise.
I was about to say.
Right, because it really does require a great amount of staff, right?
The Department of Inland Revenue encourages consumers to do their due diligence and find out if the business they patronize is value-added tax compliant. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Coming up, the debate over a new Commodore for the Defense Force. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamasair gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
We're all in this boat together. It takes a team to do it. It doesn't take one person or 3 people, 5 people. It takes a team of people to pull this thing off.
We have about 72 employees in Freeport, and the rest are in Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera, a total of over 165.
A lot of people are not aware that Sans is brewed here in the Bahamas. It's produced here in Grand Bahama Island after Dorian, and especially during the pandemic. Every time I saw a bottle of beer, every time I saw a Sans product, it represented resilience.
The only thing I can say to the Bahamian people is to support your own.
All of us are in this boat together, our staff, the country, everyone. And we've been through a lot of rough patches, taken on water, bail the water out, and now it's time to be sailing forward. And we need everyone's support to make that happen.
Are you straight? Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on a live?
Chad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive Fiber services when you port your landline.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot there of Bay Street as the sun begins to set on the city of Nassau. In fact, that shot courtesy of drone pilot Neville Smith. Welcome back. The Parliamentary service today marking a significant milestone in the House of Assembly. For the first time, transcripts from the lower and upper chambers will be available in a more timely manner. House Speaker the Honourable Patricia DeVoe says the move's in line with the Parliamentary Service Act passed back in 2023.
I'm still in the seat of decision on that one. I want to do it, but I am still praying on that, and depends on what happens moving forward. Decision-making skills that are holding me back are not very many, okay? But one of the decision-making skills would be this. I would like to see more women play a role, a more active role in Parliament. Yes, we do have a lot of women sitting in cabinet, but yes, I'd like to see more from women, more women coming forward, more women offering themselves, and more women being a part of the decision-making process.
In other news this evening, National Security Minister the Honourable Wayne Munro is addressing questions about the decision not to renew the contract of Defence Force Commander Commodore Dr. Raymond King. Commodore King's 5-year contract as head of RBDF expired on April 15th, and shortly thereafter it was announced that King would not be given a contract extension. Well, calls for an explanation have rung out from the opposition, but today a defiant Minister Munro says Dr. King's appointment has ended. That response, though, doesn't satisfy F&M leader Michael Pintard.
What is the manner? His appointment came to an end. It's like this job, right? At the end of 5 years, my appointment as Member of Parliament for Freetown will be up. Unlike a political appointment in the military, that's generally it. So, I mean, they should explain why the Bahamian people voted them out. Their appointment was at an end, they didn't get a new one. Unlike politicians, military men go into the job knowing when you get that appointment of CDF for however long it is, if it's 5 years and you're 50, that means your military career is over at 55. That's how it works.
So, given what we are facing in Haiti at the moment, given what we are experiencing at our borders, as well as given what we're experiencing in the fishery sector, where we still have incursion from Dominican fishers and others to the north, one would think that the Defense Force and its pivotal role, that you want continuity in terms of the leadership. And so, again, that is why the question has been asked. But as you said, determination has been made. We wait to see who that person is, and we'll comment further then.
With Dr. King's appointment coming to an end, a new successor and top leadership appointments are preparing to take office. A handover ceremony is set for next Thursday.
Floyd Moxie is set to take over CDF, and Captains Colin Bethel and Natasha Miller will be appointed deputy commanders of the Defense Force.
Oh, we'll take on over to Bahamasair for this morning's contract signing at the office of the Prime Minister. On hand, the airline's managing director, Tracy Cooper, who says he's happy to know the company is going into the renewal with a fairly clean slate following last December's sick-out that forced airline executives to secure an interim injunction ordering staffers back to work.
It's always good when the airline can come to an agreement with our union partners and by extension our staff. We were able to negotiate in good faith and be able to bring this thing to a close in a reasonable period of time. I'd like to thank you therefore, President Munnings, as to you and your team and negotiating in good faith.
Public Managers Union President Leslie Munnings, meantime, making a promise to back Bahamasair and bring even more change next 5 years.
We are going to communicate that
the contract is signed and what are some of the specifics of the contract. That means that our members need to know that there's increased opportunities for education. The union will, over the next several months, be working with HR to perhaps fine-tune a performance appraisal system. We're going to be working with, again, HR in reviewing their cell phone mobile plan because a number of our members must be available at all hours and in unusual circumstances.
The National Report returns after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Do you ever just want more?
But wait, there's Marco's! Introducing the More Marco's menu, packed with your favorites starting at just $6. Like our warm, golden baked cheesy bread, crispy stuffed rizzoli. How about a hot, fresh, medium one-topping pizza, subs, calzones, pizza bowls, and more. Starting at just $6. Certain restrictions apply. More variety, more value, more Marco's. Order today at Marco's Pizza, Bahamas.
We're so excited to be here in the Bahamas. We were lucky enough to be introduced to the expo by Ian Rule. He called us and said, we'd love to have you exhibiting at the expo. We saw it as a great opportunity to get down here and introduce the area to our compact catamarans.
This is the moment. May 1st and 2nd, Freeport is the move. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
The Insurance Commission in celebration mode as an intensive 6-week program ends in graduation. For all the added details, we toss it now to our Devontae Hanna, who's over there at Balmoral. Devontae?
Well, because so the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas is stepping into the future with the launch of its InsurTech compliant regular. It's a funny name that I'm actually going to let the woman in charge, the woman of the hour, the superintendent of insurance, start to explain to us. Miss Dana Munning-Gray, tell us a little bit about this program. I fumbled on the name a bit there, but I'm sure you know it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so the InsurTech course is a course that the Insurance Commission partnered with Cambridge University, along with the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services, sought to bring to the public. And what we sought was to bring innovation and technology into the insurance space. And so what we recognize is for efficiency in the insurance industry, we wanted a course that was tailored particularly to innovation and technology. And so while we would have thought that we would have only garnered 30 persons in this course. What we saw was the interest of the public in the sense that we actually have 64 persons enrolled, 61 that is actually graduating tonight, and out of that 64, we actually have persons also from Turks and Caicos. And so you would have seen that this program not just spans across the Bahamas, but also we are seeing it in the region. It's the first of its kind, and so we do look forward to what it's going to bring to the region.
How proud are you to see that this is now started? I heard one of the graduates said it started in January. It's now completed. You have 64 people part of this initial cohort. How excited are you to see this happening?
So I will say that we embarked upon this journey mid last year, and we had hoped to bring it to the Bahamas November of last year. Obviously, we experienced some hiccups, but to see this actually come off the ground in January of this year, it is remarkable. It is my baby, but it is something that I'm so proud of because it brings innovation to the space, but it also tells and shows the value of insurance, something that we consider as a necessary evil. It shows the value of insurance and how we can better equip not just our professionals, but our key stakeholders to understanding and appreciate what is in the space of this time.
All right, so again, 64 graduates here at the Balmoral Club, spanning across several sectors. I understand there are legal officials here. There are also compliance, everything that you can imagine. They're all here. The keynote speaker for this evening is the Attorney General, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, who is accompanied by several other delegates in government and also some of the big juggernauts in the insurance community. Yes.
Yeah, so the Chief Justice is here with us as well, along with, we have Dr. Tanya McCartney, we have Dr. Dee Allen from Cambridge University, so she's here on the ground, along with some of our lecturers like Mr. Richard Lefsley, and so we are very excited about this event.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ms. Gray, and congratulations to you and all of the graduates. So I'm going to send it back to you in studio from Balmoral Club. Good luck.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Some real good stuff there. Well, we're going to toss it over now to LaDawn and Marlena for a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now.
Magushla, have you ever heard of I'm Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or seen this show before?
Yes. I love that show.
Well, the Ministry of Education has a show that's coming on board exactly like it. Right, Marlena?
I'm curious to see what this new game shows. I mean, I feel like we all love Family Feud, Jeopardy, shouting out those answers. So really curious. We're going to find out more about it coming up.
And I'm certainly looking forward to it. Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
Diet-friendly special.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time. Limited time.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, mate? Well, yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do? Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Well, a week later, and the accolades are still rolling in for the Carifta team following its stellar performance in Trinidad and Tobago. Publicly congratulating the athletes, Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, noted that their display of consistency, determination, resolve, and high-level performances distinguished them from other athletes at the swimming and track meets.
As young people, you set a standard, you put a pace in place, and the nation watched it, and it was elevating. It was elevating to an entire nation. And this is what we know about our young people. And the Minister of Sports and I are going to, and we've talked about this before, but we're going to do it very soon. We're going to sit down and see how we can work together to build strong sporting programs in our schools so that we can begin to in a more sustained way, develop athletes.
Well, that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Restaurant proprietor and head chef Shaquille Edgecombe told us about the many culinary adventures that await at the Exuma Yacht Club.
We just try to keep food fresh. We bring like old school food, bring them back in different ways, using different unique, I would say, ingredients like passion fruit, the guavas, stuff like that. And then we tie it into like sushi or whatever have you. And then we also have live music on Wednesdays, and on Saturdays we have reggae night on Saturdays, Bahamian night on Wednesdays. So that's kind of the gist of it. The food's just good. We keep it spicy. We change it up. We don't just use the same menu every day. And we don't just do only fried food. We try to utilize different cooking techniques. At the same time, we still doing stuff that you could appreciate from your younger days. So the sushi on the whole is just more island-like. That's why it's different and it's unique. No one can really copycat it because we have plantains inside all of our rolls. And then we use actually fresh goat pepper to make our spicy meal. A lot of people use sriracha. We make our own sriracha with goat pepper. So everyone knows goat pepper is like the Bahamian favorite spice. So we use that instead of using sriracha, and that pretty much sets everything off. And our eel sauce is made in-house as well. So everything is pretty much made in-house. That's why everything is fresh, unique, and sexy. So Georgetown, we're in the heart of Georgetown, the only marina on the water here. And it's right directly across the Exuma markets. You can't miss it. And everyone knows where it is. So just ask for EYC and you're good. ExumaYachtClub.com. You can find the menu, you can find everything now.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
You might want to sharpen up on your trivia skills as education officials introduce a new game show. Stay close to find out more.
And the Evangelistic Temple celebrates its 90th anniversary in style, so stay close for that.
Plus, the story of an international dance street festival is on the way.
And coming up in sports, the details on the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Track and Field teams and how they were welcomed in the House of Assembly today.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight. Access now.
Well, Marlena, have you heard the buzz about the new game show by education officials?
New game show. I've heard people talk about a game show called It's Academic from the 80s and 90s, but I'm curious to see what this one is.
I heard about It's Academic as well, but first, let's dive right into the news, shall we? Who says learning can't be fun? The Ministry of Education is flipping the script with their new social studies game show called Ed Social Mania, a high-energy game show where books meet buzz and classrooms across the Bahamas clash in the ultimate showdown of smarts and style. Assistant Director of Education Lanice Hart shares more about the new game.
Ed Social Media was inspired due to a lot of areas having separate competitions, primary to junior high school. And so we wanted to bring it under one, we call it one hemisphere, one umbrella, so that we can have more coherence with the curriculum. And therefore, we married it under one heading, Ed Social Media. And hence we have the new format of the various competitions.
The game show features a Jeopardy-style format where 3 students from each participating school compete, answering questions drawn directly from the Department of Education Social Studies curriculum. Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin.
13 episodes are featured in this first season, in which we will see 72 talented students representing schools from New Providence and the Family Islands. And they battled it out in friendly but fierce competition.
Well, our Danielle Dean recently took to the Bahama Andros Ballroom for the Evangelistic Temple Gala. It's all part of celebrating the fact that the church has been around for 90 years long and growing strong. Over the years, prioritizing its role in helping to strengthen attendees' bond with their Lord and Savior, educating children in a value-filled school environment through Temple Christian, and serving the community in the church down the hill, Evangelistic Temple. Here's the story, bringing us an inside look at their celebrations.
Evangelistic Temple, the first Assemblies of God church in the country, is known for its vibrant legacy, active community outreach, and strong emphasis on youth and family ministries. The church just 10 years shy of its centennial, and its members are celebrating in grand fashion.
The church has a rich history, and we have celebrated that. We have been blessed to be able to make an impact in the community which we're in and the nation at large, and especially with the work we do in supporting missionaries around the world. And so we've just come to just celebrate that God has been faithful to us over the 90 years.
32-year member Atalia Cash emphasized the church is, as it should be, a pillar of strength and community for members and those in the wider society.
I'm celebrating with what I consider to be my family. Church family goes outside of the church doors, and that is something that Evangelistic Temple is known for and we pride ourselves on.
Darnell Storr heads the planning committee and insists celebrations for the year are just getting started, including an anticipated night under the stars in the church's parking lot and what he dubs a church Olympics.
And I feel 90 years need to be associated with a gala. And I pitched it to the pastor. He fell in love with the idea along with others. And he said, let's go and just run with it.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Pretty interesting story there, Danny. Thanks a lot. Well, downtown Nassau came alive as the Bahamas celebrated both International Dance Day and the 40th anniversary of liturgical dance in the nation. Students from schools across New Providence showcased their talents in a spirited parade that culminated in a powerful performance in Parliament Square.
We're celebrating International Dance Day. It's celebrated all over the world as we speak and as we're here. Some celebrated last night because of the different time zone. But in the Bahamas, I'm celebrating 40 years of liturgical dance in our country on this International Dance Day. And so that's why you see hundreds of children from our private school and our government schools, communities and dance groups celebrating with us because they know what time of the day it is. It's International Dance Day.
Dr. Ann Higgins, president of the CID Nassau section of the World Dance Council and a pioneer in the Bahamian liturgical dance movement, led the day's celebrations. She emphasized the significance of preserving dance traditions within churches, schools, and extracurricular programs.
We would like to see more support behind dance schools, dance community group. Children in the schools are being developed from a child. I'm talking about you have to develop them from a child. 40 years ago, liturgical dance was birthed. And now we have children's children dancing on this parade today. Children have taught, and which means that they are continuing their trend.
Well, still to come, our WealthWise feature brought to you by Leno. Stay with us.
Saving soared, super value and quality. Supermarkets, super value cage-free eggs, 1 dozen, $2.99. Hot cross buns, 9-pack, $8.99. Sugar Evans flour, 5.5 pounds, $3.69. Alien pastas, assorted 14 ounces, 2 for $1.89. Sweet strawberries, 1 pound, $4.99. Whole chicken wings, $1.69 per pound. Join the new super value quality points program at any super value and quality supermarkets.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamasair gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, and Shop Smart, and Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Well, what you doing here?
I dig in the well to connect to the house I'm building for me and Mavis.
Why you just don't call water and sewage?
Call them for what?
To get your city water. You don't have to worry about your water cutting off when the power cut off. And your water's clean and safe, free from coliform bacteria.
Cauliflower what?
Call us at 302-5500 to make the switch from well water to city water for a more fresh, reliable water supply for you and your family.
Welcome back. You're looking at a live shot of the Mount Pleasant area in western New Providence. A little history lesson. Mount Pleasant Village was established in the 1960s to provide housing for Bahamians working in Lightfoot Key. Some of the original owners still live there today. Drone shots by our drone pilot, Big Ned Smith, but let's leave Ned flying and head on down to Eleuthera. Let's go.
Central Bank Governor John Rowe revealed this week that the financial institution plans to create alternatives for commercial banks wanting to do business in the Family Islands through agency banking rules that are being established. He confirmed that a public consultation paper on agency banking will be published by the central bank sometime during the month of May. Family Island banking has been a bone of contention for many years, as residents on these islands have to travel to New Providence just to successfully complete their personal and commercial banking transactions. It's an issue that's not going unnoticed by the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce. President Thomas Sands recently told ZNS News that several banks have hinted some interest in the island. However, the chamber urges these financial houses to render a level of commitment that makes sense.
We will support institutions that are prepared to go the whole way with the community. So don't service me half-heartedly. You know, we understand costs. People respect costs. But in order for me to have a proper banking service in my community and for it to be effective for my community, it has to have certain elements included.
The Eleuthera Chamber head feels effective banking services will support the growth and development of the island's business sector.
And I think also the education of businesses transitioning from cash to cashless, and we know it won't happen overnight, but also there's a level of infrastructure that needs to be put in place to make sure that works well. That I know how to do it, that if there's a problem you could quickly get to me to resolve the problem, because if I'm all cashless and the system goes down, I'm out of business. And so there's a commitment involved in seeing the whole program through.
Well, we're in the middle of the week, and that means it's not just Hum Day. It's time for the Wednesday feature, Leno Wealthwise. Here's our Diane Dorset.
Once you've identified what's weighing your portfolio down, the next step is rebalancing. That's realigning your investments to reflect your current goals and the market.
Before rebalancing your portfolio, I would caution you to sit down with your financial advisor and review your investment objectives. Also, look at current and expected market conditions. Do you and your advisor feel that current market trends will continue or change in the short to medium term?
And spring may also bring new financial opportunities, if you know where to look.
The investment environment is dynamic, and as such, new opportunities that align with your portfolio's goals and strategy may be considered as often as possible.
Benavi says keeping up with your finances isn't just a yearly task.
The investment portfolio should be reviewed at least once a year. However, opportunities.
So whether you're investing for retirement or your children's future, a seasonal review could be the reset your portfolio needs. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Always great to learn a new tip from our friends at Leno. And now it's time to take a look at what's coming up in ZNS Total Sports.
Carifta athletes honored for their stellar performances in Trinidad and Tobago. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Sickness on the job is a possibility. During this time, the NIB Sickness Benefit works for you. Sickness benefit is for qualified insured persons unable to work as a result of a specified disease, physical or mental disablement. To claim, complete the Med 1 benefit form. Section A of the form is completed by a physician only, verifying one's inability to work, citing the ICD-9 code, a description of diagnosis, and indicating the period of incapacity not exceeding 13 weeks per Med 1 form. The physician signs and dates the form and affixes an official stamp. Forms completed by physicians in another country are required to submit the doctor's or institution's card. The claimant must complete all other sections of the form. Section C is only to be completed by industrial accident claimants. The Med 4 form or employer certificate must accompany the Med 1 form. All forms must be submitted within 3 months of the date of sickness. Late claims are subject to review by the Late Claims Committee. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Alive Business is giving you a chance to win a brand new office suite. Compliments of custom computers, Boss, Huawei, and Royal Bank of Canada. It's simple. Just pay your Alive bill on time and keep your account current or sign up for Alive Business Fiber. Boost productivity, enhance your office space, and take your business to the next level. Don't miss out. Stay connected, stay current, and you could be the big winner. For more information, call the experts at 242-601-8911.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Connect Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Connaught Bahamas.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports after their stellar performance in Trinidad and Tobago this past Easter weekend. Bahamasair Carifta track and swimming teams honored for their record-breaking accomplishments in Parliament this morning. Now, Corvell Pyfrom was outside the House of Assembly and filed this report.
Outside the House of Assembly this morning, members from Team Bahamas Aquatics and Track and Field gathered under a tent in Rawson Square. The team's too big to all fit in the lower chamber. That's okay, though. There was lots of recognition to be had for our young athletes still basking in the glow of their record-breaking, thrilling performances at the recent Carifta Games in Trinidad.
It feels great to be celebrated like this because last year, it wasn't really celebrated like this, so I'm glad that they're doing this.
It's really good. It's a little bit, you know, you're a bit nervous sometimes, but overall it's a great feeling.
Dakari Cooper from Aquatics, a student at Bishop Michael Eldon in Grand Bahama, was still nursing a broken leg just 3 months before competition got underway. By the time he got in the water, there were no signs of his recent setback.
It's amazing for me experiencing it, meeting new people, new competition, and just the experience overall.
Logan Camacho is one of the youngest and at a whopping 4 feet 11, also one of our smallest Carifta squad members. But we will be talking about him for a long time to come.
It was tough. I was kind of nervous, but when I got in the marshalling room, I knew I just had to stay focused and I would get a good time.
Mom Ashley says all of these athletes are deserving of celebrating.
The dedication, the commitment to their crafts, and they give their all. It's blood, sweat, and tears in the pool, on the track, and I'm just proud of every one of them.
And may the celebrating of Team Bahamas continue. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell, and the athletes as well as coaches not leaving empty-handed. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag.
I want to thank Life for always being a decent and supporting corporate sponsor to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Madam Speaker, Alive has agreed to give each medalist representing Team Bahamas, whether it's aquatics or track and field, a phone device, athletes, a phone device complimentary with 1 month service package that you will be able to talk and WhatsApp till Jesus come. Now, you know, I forget to mention now, I almost forget this, but athletes, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture would provide every one of you who was a part, the whole 120 athletes, with a gift certificate from John Bull. So you can go to John Bull. But another gratitude extended beyond the track. The coaches, trainers, and medical teams, the backbone of every performance, will be honored with a well-deserved, this is for the coaches and the managers now, with a well-deserved day pass to Breezes Resort, which is just a small gesture for them to get together and celebrate themselves and reminisce on the days of past and the good days to come.
And that's my look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Condell evaporated milk, 13 ounces, $109. Evergreen purified water, 1 gallon, $139. Small picnic apps, $2.49 per pound. Fresh salad
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk a catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in the car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
No. This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Ooh.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast. High pressure will continue to dominate our weather through tomorrow, but there's a low-level trough that will move into the area, and that will support some showers over the weekend and heading into the early part of next week. But most significantly, we expect a reduction in those winds tomorrow. For those who are interested in boating conditions, those winds should fall off to about 10 to 15 knots, as you will see in a very short while. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business and in the northwestern islands. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, so you'll see those winds gradually going down tonight. Wave height subsiding 2 to 4 feet. The high tide that will take place at 11:02 tonight. The second high tide at 11:25 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands, still having those brisk winds, 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet, so we will maintain the caution flags for the central and southeastern islands through tomorrow. And then as we head into Friday, in the northwest and central islands, we have a clockwise rotation of those winds becoming southeast, bringing in a warmer stream of air. Those speeds around 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Now, the low tide on Friday will take place at 6:33 in the morning with a high tide at 12:25 in the afternoon. For the southeastern islands, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights also at 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Gotta remember to have some self-esteem. All out of second chance. Like you're on a romances. So get out of my way. You're taking up space. I need a man on the sandbox, baby. You think you slick, but this the wrong one you pick.
And that's going to do it for your international temperature, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Ladon and Malina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. You know, I love our weather to end April, Balena. Beautiful days and breezy nights. What do you think?
Yes, thank you, Basil. Yes, today was perfect. It was absolutely, like, perfectly breezy today. But now it's time for us to turn things over to Matea Cunningham and Let's Talk Socials.
It's LTS time. You know it and you love it. My name is Matea, and today we're diving into the social media frenzies just like we always do. Today, let's chat about a local celebrity well known for his serial entrepreneurship and investments. Sebastian Bastian, also known as Sebas. Many Bahamians admire him because he truly embodies the spirit of a go-getter. If you didn't know, Sebastian Bastian is the founder of several major businesses in the Bahamas, including Island Luck and Brickell Management Group. He's built a reputation for being one of the leading tech and business innovators in the region. Recently, he released a podcast clip on his TikTok where he tackled a pretty interesting hypothetical. If he woke up one day and his bank account was at zero, what would he do? Take a look.
All right, so the first thing I would do is I will have to harness on what I'm good at. So if I have $0, then I'm going to have to lean into what are my strengths. So my strengths, I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at sales.
Okay.
I have a really strong creative mind. I'm going to even deepen the question too, because I'm going to assume nobody's going to lend me $1. So what can I do to make money? I can become a consultant. I can take my ability to take an idea or an assumption or a business and find like opportunities for, let's say I'll become a business consultant where I can find gaps between what you're doing now with your business and how you can upsell the potential of your business without changing anything in your cost structure. Almost like an efficiency optimizer on the cost side, and using my analytical brain and my ability to spot kind of opportunities, I can just say, all right, if this is the, I don't know, automotive industry, I'll put my ability to spot opportunities and offer that as a service.
Talk about a mindset masterclass. It's always inspiring to see successful people break down how they'd rebuild from scratch. And it's a reminder that success really is about strategy and determination, not just money. What do you think about Sebastian's plan? Could you see yourself doing the same? If you're tuned into the live stream, drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials. Until next time, stay inspired and stay in the loop.
Well, that does it for Access Now for tonight. Make sure to join us again tomorrow night at 7:30 sharp.
That's right, and stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. His guests for this evening include this year's 7-time Carifta Aquatics champion team and 2 alumni of the Government High School, which is celebrating its centennial.
Good night, everybody.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal, at the check-in counter, at security checkpoints, or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassarlpia.com.
This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Bahamas National Trust in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
For 60 years, we have been here, the voice of the environment. Here, speaking up and for your national parks, all across the islands of this nation. The places God visits for vacation, spanning over 2.5 million acres of land and sea. How delighted then he must be to see a sea of pink, as flamingos mingle and haven like jingles play where queen conchs still sleep. And if you listen, you can hear it. the words of gossiping parrots awaiting the diction of the day? All 365 of them, that's every day and every year, 15,000 children share in the beauty of this playground. Our name is yours. And we have been yours for years unnoticed. Don't forget us. Support us. Your national parks. The defenders of your environment. Join us. Remember, our cause is yours. The first land and sea park in the world is yours. Heritage. Here it is. When was the last time you gasped at our scenery, gotten lost in the depth of our reefs, or even awed at the green of the leaves of our trees? Don't hesitate to donate and volunteer. Don't hesitate to care. We are here for you. The Bahamas National Trust, BNT. 3 letters that spell out simply, perfectly, and undoubtedly that we are yours.
It's a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, it's in the inner city and persons who really include and so much of the loss they do. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us for another evening. Well, the Davis administration continuing to prioritize the economy as today in Parliament, House members debated a compendium of financial services bills aimed at modernizing the financial services framework in the country while ensuring compliance with international standards and higher standards of transparency in the sector. Fern Carey reports tonight. More on the Prime Minister's communication.
In opening debate on the financial services bills in Parliament Wednesday, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, noted that the proposed legislation will ensure that the Bahamas maintains its competitive edge in a rapidly evolving global financial services sector. He then provided more clarity on the intent of a bill for an act to amend the Executive Entities Act and a bill for an act to amend the Banks and Trust Companies Regulation Act.
These bills represent our ongoing commitment to excellence in regulating our financial services sector by addressing a specific gap in our current framework. Executive entities, as established under the Executive Entities Act of 2011, have become an important tool in our wealth management arsenal. They allow for specialized structures that can perform executive functions such as trustee duties and asset management, providing...
The proposed legislation will also deepen oversight in the sector.
The Executive Entities Amendment Bill makes a simple but important change to Section 13 of the Principal Act, ensuring that all executive entities fall under appropriate regulatory oversight, where before it only applied to licensed agents. Making the small change has significant implications for strengthening our regulatory framework, as the central bank will now have direct oversight over these entities. The other bill before us, the Banks and Trust Companies Regulations Amendment Bill, this bill formally defines the concept of a qualified executive entity, or QEE, which is an executive entity that is registered under the Executive Entities Act and meets specific criteria regarding its functions and structure.
Appropriate fees will be applied, while the legislation will provide for the Central Bank of the Bahamas to have direct regulatory oversight.
This change reinforces the Bahamasair's commitment to preventing money laundering, combating terrorism financing, and upholding the highest standards of financial integrity.
Prime Minister Davis noted that the bills highlight the Bahamas' willingness to meet international compliance standards while agitating for those standards to evolve in a fair and balanced way in the global community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks a lot, Fern. Also from Parliament tonight, the National Health Insurance Program for a makeover later this year. As the government introduces legislation it says will propel the program towards a new phase. Nakova Python reports on what this means for its services and patients.
At a cost of more than $46 million a year and more than 160,000 members enrolled, the NHI program, first introduced back in 2016, has grown. But according to Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville, this growth still lags behind demand. Therefore, new legislation, he argues, is necessary.
This new bill that I'm going to lay, we will open the door, the next steps, because from the initial stages of NHI that was conceived in 2016, a lot of things have been changed, and this new bill is absolutely necessary. We could not amend the old bill. We had to repeal and replace it.
The next phase of the program, Dr. Darville says, includes catastrophic health insurance and providing essential medication for patients suffering with chronic non-communicable diseases. Crucial to keeping the country's healthcare system running effectively and efficiently is reducing high cost. The health minister says cost reduction starts with prevention and keeping would-be patients away from the hospital.
In the new bill, we will be able to do more diagnostic services. We will add additional services for breast screening, colon rectal screening. We will be able now to do more prostate screening, all in the attempt to pick diseases up in the early stages, and for NHI to have the means and the wherewithal to be able to allow individuals registered with NHI to access crucial medicines to keep these patients out of hospital.
As the new NHI program expects to expand services, its infrastructure must adapt to meet its new objectives, particularly as it relates to staffing. Dr. Darville says steps are already in place to fill existing gaps.
As we are on a crusade to improve infrastructural programs in the country and development in healthcare, we must never leave behind manpower resources, and we are definitely in the process of filling those gaps.
And the health minister insists the priority of this NHI program remains ensuring that every Bahamian has health care coverage. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell. Let's park there for a second, because NHI is essential, and regardless of whether you believe it or you use it or you won't, it is critical to the development of our country, right? Because we're talking, as you would have heard, a program that's going to cost $46 million a year. So that's not a cheap price tag. That's expensive, but it is necessary. Why? Because we find ourselves in a country today where if you cannot afford health care, or if you don't have insurance, your risk increases for survival. It is a very serious concern. Right now, there are many Bahamians that don't have insurance, many Bahamians that cannot afford health care, many Bahamians that are dying prematurely because they don't have access to the kind of health care they need to treat chronic non-communicable diseases or other illnesses that they may have. This has to work. And so every Bahamian should be behind NHI, hoping for it to work. It is foolish to hope it fails. It is foolish to hope it does not succeed for whatever reason you may have. It is important for this to succeed because we have to be able to provide a better standard of health care for our people. Health care has not been growing at the pace that our country has been developing. That is a fact. And because we find that kind of challenge in our country, we see people every day struggling to find proper health care. Now, we won't get into the insurance industry tonight, because that's a different issue by itself. And the reality is, it's priced many people out of the market. People just cannot afford insurance. And so therefore, they depend on the public health care sector. And that is why there must be rapid development. They need staff. They need critical professionals in the healthcare sector. And remember, why is this so difficult for the Bahamas? Because we're not just supplying New Providence. We're an archipelago of islands, which means we have to duplicate these services throughout the family of islands. Meaning, even you got 300 people on the island, they have to have basic health care. And that's an expensive price tag, but it's a necessity. These islands where we promote tourists and we want to develop for tourism, they have to have the basic essentials in order for us to be able to promote that island as a destination. You can't promote an island as a destination and you have no healthcare facility, you have no police station, you don't have the basic things that people need when they travel to a particular location. So it's expensive duplicating the services on all these islands. And that is why the government has to spend considerable effort in getting it right. So what needs to happen is Bahamians need to rally around the support. Bahamians need to get involved in the process and begin to buy into what government is trying to do, because at the end of the day, it is going to help us improve the standard of quality of health care that we can provide across the board. People always talk, you see it on social media, they talk about pre-MH and people in the hallways waiting for health care. Oh, they don't have this supply, they don't have that supply. It's a reality, it's true, it's not a lie. They don't have some of these things that they need. They don't have the supplies. They don't have the doctors and the nurses. And yet when government has to go and find them and bring them in, then we complain about putting foreigners before Bahamians because, well, who else is going to get the job done if we don't have people here to do it ourselves? And so NHI is going to be critical. And I hope that people will rally on board with what Dr. Darwell is trying to do, what he's trying to get done, because it is about saving the lives of Bahamians. And sometimes you have to learn to leave the politics out of things when it comes to people's life, when it comes to their survival. It is not a game of chance. It is a matter of being able, in your country, to be able to get quality health care whether you can afford it or not. That's a basic right. Just how we talk about education is a basic right, health care is a basic right. You ought to be able to go to any facility and get a good quality of service and not have to wait all night. You don't want to go to PMH, you have an emergency, you got to carry everything you need for the next 24 hours. Shouldn't happen. But in order to get to that place of better efficiency, there has to be a proper plan put in place for our healthcare sector. And we have to catch up to a growing population that continues to grow. So we're going to watch that story and see how that develops and hopefully be able to see how in the short span of time with NHI, people can get better quality of healthcare. Well, let's talk about something good tonight, right? It's Carifta week here on the Rundown. Monday, we featured the outstanding performances of Team Bahamas at the Carifta Track and Field Championships in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, tonight, it's the swim team's turn. Tell us about, listen, these swimmers, I don't know whether they got scales growing on them, because how we could win 7 straight. I mean, that's just phenomenal. I know we always focus on the track and field, but I can't stress enough how these young swimmers continuously go to competition around the region, no matter where the competition is, and they continuously turn gold medal performances like it's eating lunch. They just continuously win. And that's just phenomenal. No matter which country they go up against, they just win. They're like dolphins in the pool. I mean, it's something we ought to celebrate, because it shows us that we have a program that actually works. A program that's developing every year, and more swimmers are coming into the programs that we have in this country, and they're developing strong skills. And we ought to celebrate that, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Also tonight on the show, we're going to talk about labor, as representatives of the National Tripartite Council will inform us about their work on implementing livable wage, right? We talk about putting these things in place. We need a livable wage in this country. Yeah, easier said than done, right? So what efforts are they making toward that end? We're going to talk about that. And then the government, I should say, they put in the teleprompter, the government. They put 2 E's there so I can say the government. The government high school is now 100 years old. That's about the age of our producer, Vaughn Albury. 2 members of the GHS class of 1969 will be on the show. Take a trip down memory lane. So it's going to be an exciting show tonight. Stay with us. The Rundown returns from the ZNS Network. We get started right after the break. Stay close.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all 3. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Welcome back to the show. It's great to have you with us. If you're watching in the Lions Den, I see you in there. Always good to have you. And if you're watching on YouTube or on your various cable networks and Turks and Caicos in the region, and those of you watching internationally as well, or here locally on our cable or BTC channels, it's always good to have you joining us on the Rundown. Well, scoring an impressive 979 points, the Bahamas swim team secured its 7th Carifta Aquatics Championship in Trinidad and Tobago Easter weekend. The team won 27 gold. 27, 23 silver, and 24 bronze medals. The national swim team beat Jamaica, who came in second by 183.5 points. And of course, the team is already ready to win number 8. Joining us on the show to recap the Carifta Aquatics Championships, of course, is the Federation President, Algernon Coggle, and we're so happy to have him here. Congratulations, sir. You know, if you won swimming and we came second in track and field, I think if we added the points, we could say the Bahamas won Carifta.
I think
you know, we have our own way of doing maths to make sure we always win. We always win. But congratulations to a phenomenal performance. How does it feel again to do 7?
Well, this one we thought would have been the most challenging going into Trinidad and Tobago.
Why?
Because Trinidad sent a warning to the Bahamas, so they were going to beat us in their home pool. And also we had lost a few swimmers from last year. But nonetheless, we had a plan, and our plan was to don't minimize the disqualifications, don't be a hero, and also to minimize the relay false starts, because swimming is scored on points, not necessarily on medals. And we were happy to top the medal chart as well as the point chart. And I must say a special thanks to our coaches. They were very focused, very determined. And they did an excellent job in preparing the team in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad was actually predicted to come second, and they slipped to third. And the Cayman Islands was predicted to come third. Because we do our own math before the competition to see where we are. And we knew going to Trinidad and Tobago that we still had a very good chance of winning.
but we knew that the welcoming spirit would not have been the best, and there were some challenges. I don't want to pretend there were none, but we're very happy to win number 7 and also 9 out of the last 10 Cariftas. We lost 1 year by 7.5 points, so I think the Swimming Federation is doing a good job.
What does it take to produce this gold medal team every year, despite the challenges that you may say you encounter year over year? What does it take?
It takes dedicated parents, firstly, because swimming is a sport that requires an early morning start. Swimmers in the pool at 6 a.m. in the morning until 7 or 5:30 until 7. They change there for school, go to school, and then come back from school back to the pool for 2 hours. Yes, that's
twice a day.
Twice a day. And so a parent has to be dedicated to be up with the swimmer to get them there for 5:30, to rush them to school, bring them back in the evenings, etc. So swimming is a sport that requires a lot of parental commitment. It also requires gym work, and it requires support from the coaches. We have some excellent coaches. I must thank Coach Trevana McPhee, Alan Murray, Khadijah Kalmar, Jasmine Gibson. They did a great job in Trinidad and Tobago. And also, as I mentioned, Corporate Bahamas. Corporate Bahamas has to come behind the swim team. And we feel as if, although we are the federation, the only federation in the Bahamas, by the way, to win Carifta for 7 consecutive years.
Wow.
The only one in the Caribbean to win Carifta Aquatic for 7 consecutive years. We don't get the respect from Corporate Bahamas as being the dominant sporting federation. And to some extent, even from those within the inner circles, we don't get that same respect. And also we feel that we envy really the respect that track and field has. They do a good job. Everyone's loved track and field. It's a sport that's inherently popular, but nonetheless, swimming is treated as a second-rate sport. That's how the athletes feel. But one thing I like to dispel, though, and you asked me what it takes to win, we carry a stigma on our back of being the elite sport.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The sport for the elite, and that's so far from the truth. Let me say that all of our swimmers are Bahamians, except I think we have one non-Bahamian on the team that allows for that. Secondly, all of our swimmers are educated here in the Bahamas. We may have one swimmer who lives in the United States, but the majority are educated here, they train here. And the majority are black Bahamians.
Wow.
But we have to be treated as if we're an elite sport for the whites. We treated as if our sport, the parents are rich. They're not. They make sacrifices. They pay a lot of money for their children to swim, $1,000 a year, sometimes $100 to swim in a swim meet.
Wow.
So it's a sport. Their parents are making a sacrifice for this Carifta title, and we just would like to be rewarded. We went to Carifta with a $200,000 budget. We collected about, I would say, 30 to 40% of that. The Federation is carrying the debt. And one of the reasons I'm glad to be here is to appeal to Corporate Bahamas. Let's come out and support the swim team who really sacrificed to bring the Carifta title back home and make a contribution to Bahamas Aquatics by contacting us at info@bahamasaquatics.com.
And please, as you're listening, this is a necessary appeal. These young people have proven that they take their craft serious. They bring our country great pride and reward, and yet the sacrifice is great, and they can't do it on their own. And Corporate Bahamas, they do need you to come in and support what is happening. I'm impressed by the discipline, because I'm still reeling over the fact that you start your day swimming and you probably finish your day swimming, and your parents have to come and pick you up and then come and take you to school and then come and bring you back. That's a lot of commitment, and that's a lot of sacrifice, and we see now why we're able to turn on the kind of performances that we do. But it shows that in this country there is a level of discipline.
Yeah, and also swimmers are good academics, students. at our national championships every year, we have a All Bahamas Aquatics Award, and supported by Royal Bank of Canada, and we awarded 150 swimmers who have GPAs of 3.0 and above.
Wow.
So despite the requirement to be in the pool so much, they've developed a rigorous schedule, and they are able to do their schoolwork, plan properly, and still do extremely well in school. And to have 150 plus athletes who are academic students, that speaks to the importance of swimming that it develops, and also that it provides you with a skill for life. So you got to plan and organize.
That discipline carries over to every area.
And they do extremely well in school, and I'm very proud of these athletes who can balance academics and swimming.
Let's talk about the quality of athlete that make up the swim team. Are these generally swimmers who have come into the program with this talent, or these young people who just came into the program with a desire to swim, who picked up skills and were trained and were coached along the way to be to this level?
I think it's a bit of both. Obviously, some persons have fast twitch muscles. Today we've had one swimmer only to make the finals of the Olympic Games. Her father is here, and he is an athlete in his own right. And she has set the example very high for Bahamians. But nonetheless, the discipline carries you a long way, while also having the good genes, and also to be able to have great coaches. We have some good coaches in our program, and we continuously seek that they continue to develop themselves to be able to rival the coaches of North America and Europe, because we are Bahamians. We feel that sometimes going away is better than coaches here. But nonetheless, it's a combination of several factors, but I think it's the training in the pool and being committed to something. Once you're committed, you put the hard work in, you're able to use your defeat as a motivation for more success. You will get the rewards in swimming, and just be committed. Be able to push through and don't give up, because you will not always have a great meet every day, but you use that defeat as a learning experience. And that's what we're happy about, that we've had athletes who didn't make the Carifta team last year. They are on the team this year. Athletes who were stars last year got kind of cocky and did not make a team this year.
Wow.
So you have to really stay focused and have some humility and understand that swimming requires a sport. If you don't put the work in, you will not get the results.
You touched on it when you talk about the one athlete making the Olympic team, and that's
Olympic final.
The Olympic final, sorry, right. and that's the question I always ask. We have such a great feeder program at the junior level. Are we not seeing that carry over to the senior level? What is happening from a great Carifta team of about how many members on the team?
36.
About 36. Are we not preparing them for competition throughout? Do they not carry it on? Why aren't we seeing that carry straight out to the senior
That's
level?
a great question. But one of the limiting factors we have is only one pool in Nassau, 150-meter pool. And that pool is busy until 8 o'clock daily. So we would need more training facilities in the 50-meter pool here in Nassau as a first step. Also, there are fewer academic opportunities to go off to school for swimming. We have probably less than 10 swimmers on college scholarship swimming in North America, and whereas the other sports will have a lot more. So even in the United States, it's not as popular as track and field, but swimming has the most medals in the Olympic Games. Wow. They've expanded the medals by 3 more by having medals in all 50 sprint races, 50-meter races now in the Olympic Games. So we haven't had the same success at the senior level. It's a combination of several factors. But we're going to break that glass ceiling. We're going to be able to get an Olympic medal. This is my last term as president.
Your last term?
Definitely my last term as president. I've been president since 2003 at the Federation in a very heated election.
And they've won ever since you've been president. That might be part of the combination?
When I became president, we were coming 6th and 7th.
And then what happened?
And we developed a strategic plan. We got some help. And we had some more coach development, and here we are, the Carifta champions 9 out of the last 10 years, and 7 straight years. And the athletes have told us that 8 straight, we can't wait.
You got this slogan, 8 straight, we can't wait. Listen, we thank you and your entire team and your leadership for doing what it is that you do. And again, that appeal, I don't want it to fall on deaf ears. The support is needed to be able to keep our team on top and to be able to keep our athletes in the pool and developing themselves. Ajahn Cargill, it's certainly a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Clint.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Stay with us still to come representatives of the National Tripartite Council. They're here to discuss what's on their agenda for the next few months. You're watching The Rundown on the ZNS Network. We're back after this.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Bahamas National Tripartite Council's primary goal is to promote tripartism through cooperation and consultation between the government, employers, and workers. Now, the NTC advises the government on labor, productivity, quality, and competition, and reviews the International Labor Conference's agenda and proposed conventions and recommendations. Now, the NTC also consults on matters concerning the International Labor Organization. Providing us tonight with more details on their agenda is Chairman Sharon Martin and NTC member from Grand Bahama, Quintin LaRota. Welcome to the Rundown. Great to have both of you with us.
A pleasure.
A pleasure.
Yeah.
Listen, so let's talk about this, right? In layman's term, because I read a whole lot of stuff and people probably saying, huh, what? What that mean? So what is the responsibility of the National Tripartite Council? What is the purpose of it?
Okay, so the National Tripartite Council is first and foremost a statutory body. And we are charged with just very simply ensuring that the labor force is taken care of in the proper manner. We are charged with ensuring that international standards are adhered to. And of course, we're charged to ensure that there's social dialogue that happens between the social partners.
Now, people may say, okay, well, why is that necessary? What issues can arise that may cause there to be concern that may require you to intervene?
So, COVID, for example, should have been the clear idea to understand that the socioeconomic portions that we tend to leave out and forget that labor, without labor, there is no socioeconomic background. And so we ensure, that is actually our mantra, to ensure and to protect the socioeconomic foundation of the country. So what could arise? You know, strikes. Strikes arise out of the breakdown of social dialogue. So we have to ensure that those parameters are made and kept at all times.
The council has also pushed for a national livable wage, and I'll bring you in on this, Quinton. Any update on where we are with that and the importance of that, first of all?
Well, first I want to just piggyback just of something she said. I think one of the things that's not appreciated is the NTC is an organization, is a body that maintains industrial harmony and peace. Right? If we don't have social dialogue and consultation between the various partners, you could have a country that really gets out of control. Right. And so I just
y'all the peacemakers.
Absolutely. And so we want to encourage the unions out there and the labor leaders that may have some issues. One of the things that you could refer to is the National Tripartite Council as well, because we have the employers there who sit around the table with us, who can be a part of the solution to the situation, right? Now, as far as the livable wage go, actually, I'm going to refer that back to the chair, who has been our point person in dealing with the matter.
She's been the driving force behind this. We know that.
We are actually extremely pleased with where we are with the living wage. We have been mandated by Cabinet to put together a recommendation for the livable wage. So having that kind of backdrop, it's been very easy to maneuver around. First and foremost, the Bahamas does not have a livable wage act as we have a minimum wage act. So what we're doing, we're setting together and we're putting together wage setting committee, a board that will just ensure that persons are getting paid properly. You take a look at the historical background of the difference in time between when the minimum wage was increased, when we made the recommendation in 2013, 2014. We cannot allow that to happen in our country. And the thing about livable wage is this: the international community, we have still not come up with a agreed description of livable wage. So livable wage, what we came up with though, at the ILC, International Labor Conference, we came up with a concept. The governing board met, and the Bahamas, we sat in as observers from the Bahamas mission. That's Her Excellency Patricia Hermans. And we agreed with the 187 countries, because we do have ILC as a parliament. And we agreed on the concept of what the living wage would be. The concept of having to ensure the bread basket stuff are looked at, the concept of looking at the household, how many persons are in the household. We agreed on the calculation of what a livable wage would look like. So what are we doing? Where are we with us here in the Bahamas? We are pleased to let you know that in the Bahamas, to know that we have requested, the International Labor Organization formally requested the assistance in estimating the livable wage and operationalizing the livable wage for the Bahamas. So we are right there. We came out of conference 2 days ago, yesterday actually, where the Bahamian delegation, we did not go to Geneva, but we did online. So we were up at 3 a.m. in the morning, because, you know, they're 6 hours ahead of us. And the Bahamas Statistical National Institute, they are part of the committee, that the wage setting committee that we're looking at. So the Ministry of Finance is involved through them, because the one thing that we know that has to happen for livable wage is the estimation has to be data driven. It cannot be that we're guessing. What exists for us is that we have to look at the archipelago.
Right.
We cannot just
because it can change from island to island based on the economy.
Exactly. Cost of living on each island is different.
Yes.
So we cannot do a brush and say that this is going to be the living wage for the Bahamas. The ceiling and the livable wage is just the floor, you know. It is not the ceiling as people expect to think, oh, this is where we're going to stop.
Right.
Because guess what? When we come back again, we'll talk about living income. That's an entirely different ball game. So we can't just think, oh, we're minimum wage and living wage is there. There is a gap, yes, but it is not the ceiling. It is still the floor.
What is the purpose of establishing a livable wage? Is it to say that you ought to get this and nothing less? Or if you're getting this, then you're pretty much should be set? What is the purpose of establishing a livable wage?
Establishing a livable wage it's basically to ensure that persons get a decent pay for decent work. This is your productivity level, and you get paid for it. And that is why livable wage is so difficult to really handle, because your job may entail something else than my job, than Ms. LaRoda's job.
Correct.
Right? And so, but so we can't, again, broad brush and say that this is, you ought to get this, I ought to, oh no, the entire country needs to get a livable wage and at this level. It's not like the minimum wage. A minimum wage is set by law. Livable wage, it's just a different animal.
And obviously, this is important, because I think about the Family Islands, is your outreach in the Family Islands as well. Grand Bahama obviously is a different creature by itself and has to be looked at even differently based on the economics of Grand Bahama Island.
Well, yes, absolutely. And one of the things I want to assure the Bahamas too is that we are on the cutting edge in terms of a country in the region with the livable wage. We are more progressive, I think, than a lot of Bahamians think, and we are leaders in the region in trying, and even globally, in trying to establish these concepts, and we want to do it right and do it correct and be the model for the rest of the region and maybe even the rest of the world that has not yet adopted it. And so sometimes I think as Bahamians, we take it for granted how well we're doing in the international arena. And so sometimes we complain a lot, but there's some good things to celebrate on the work that's being done by the NTC and other bodies related to labor. And definitely the NTC with its outreach, I know one of the things when I moved here, I found that I was surprised at how Nassau-centric some of the persons here are coming from Grand Bahama. But one of the things under the leadership of Ms. Martin, we've made it intentional to get the other family islands involved. And so even though we have two chambers of commerce from Grand Bahama and Nassau at the table, she's expanded her reach to reach out to Bimini and to Eleuthera. We're trying to get this broad-based approach to get input from everybody so that all of the stakeholders could feel that they are valued and they're making a contribution to national development through the NTC.
The ILO is planning a visit to the Bahamas. What are they hoping to achieve with that visit?
So the NTC, we are mandated also by law to ensure that we live up or we are on par with the international standards and the international conventions. So the Bahamas has not signed on to several conventions, and we have been intentional to go after those conventions. One of those conventions is C183, Convention 183, which is the maternity benefit convention. Then there is C187 and the recommendations that goes along with that, and that 187, it relates to the health and safety And that one is a big one for me because when you leave home, we expect that you return home the way you left home. And so that one, that's a core thing for me. And then there is C155, that's also the promotional framework, and then the actual convention, which is C155, health and safety. So those, so they're coming in town, and we're expecting to have a symposium that deals with those aspects in terms of leading us, looking at the gap analysis that you know we have it's been done, and saying, okay, we need to fill these gaps. And so we're sitting down as a tripartite body at the end of the month, at May actually, and we're going over those aspects of ensuring that the Bahamas is on par with the other international bodies.
Are there other programs that ILO is assisting us with?
Outside of the living wage, there's also the Decent Work Country program, which you know the Bahamas is the leader in the region on. We've done the second generation Decent Work Country program. And outside of that, then, you know, people think that labor is just a mismatch of things or it just happens. No, it does not. There is a Decent Work Country program. There is that takes a look at all the areas, the social dialogue, the poverty. We take a look at all of those aspects, and one by one, we're getting to the knocking them down one by one.
Some very important work. People don't even take time to recognize it, but it's very important to our workforce. Yes. And hats off to you for what you're doing in helping us to not only just regulate, but to maintain the standard that has been happening all over the world to make sure our workforce is on level, on paramount with what other people are doing as well. And so people don't recognize it's the work that you're doing in the veins and in the trenches, in the shadows that make it sustainable and strong. So thank you. And of course, we look forward to hearing the developments with livable wage, which is important, and other areas that you're working to get those conventions signed for. I know with the health and safety being around here, what we're trying to do, so I know the importance of it. Yes. And so we have our full support behind this. Thank you for coming on and talking to us about it. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure. And stay with us when we come back. The Government High School, that's what it's all about. Right after the break. Stay close.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Imagine a training hub for career, technical, and vocational excellence. A center that transforms academics to application, preparing confident, competent, and competitive future leaders. An institution that benchmarks industry best practices and can serve as a feeder to reduce employment gaps right here in the Bahamas. Welcome to the Bahamas Polytechnic Accreditation and Training Hub, BPATH, which is that institution and will transform the face of career and technical education and training in the Bahamas forever. Here, hands-on learning and real-work problem-solving collide to create an explosion of critical analysis and collaboration. Students' interests and giftedness will align with a diverse base of programs intended to prepare them to continue studies or enjoy tertiary-level training and future employment. Our Construction Academy will expose students to the art of furniture making, drywall installation, electrical installation, and HVAC, while while our Automotive Academy will address hybrid and electrical vehicles, including the logistics of fleet management. The Information Technology and Coding programs are most exciting and will provide a nudge to our budding programmers and AI creators and challenge them to create the next best creative venture. And who better to tell the story of BPAV other than the students in the Academy of Communications, who will explore the creativity of effective storytelling and the media available to offer such stories for consumption. Our Academy of Sustainability will explore sustainability through agriculture, food preservation, and indigenous entrepreneurship. While advanced skills training is paramount, a critical component of this institution will be the professional credentialing of our students, who will enter to be trained and satisfying the expected outcomes. Graduates will personify excellence, career and technical education and training, building bridges, closing gaps, one student at a time. These are indeed exciting times in education.
Welcome back to the show. In our final segment before we wrap up tonight, Government High School is 100 years old. The milestone commemorated this past Sunday, April 27th. School opened in 1925. Yeah, that's a little before our time. With 5 students as a selected grammar school. That all changed in 1975. That was the year I was born, when the government changed it to a comprehensive school, allowing more access to ordinary Bahamians. Today, Government High School has a population of 600 plus students. It's also branded as one of the country's most prestigious schools, producing governors general, attorneys general, central bank governors, top civil servants, including permanent secretaries, broadcasters, and sports icons. Former tourism minister and director general Vincent Vanderpool Wallace and veteran dentist Dr. Emmanuel Francis are members of the class of, get this, 1969.
16.
And they're here with us tonight to tell us more about Government High School's centennial anniversary. Welcome to the Rundown, gentlemen. Great to have you with us. The legacy is there. I mean, it's established of the Government High School. When you see nation builders and leaders, and you hear them talk about, well, I came through the Government High School, this institution clearly prepared the way for many of our leaders that we've seen over the years. It's 100 years. When you think about 100 years of an institution of education, what comes to mind when you reflect on the Government High School? Dr. Francis, you want to begin?
Well, what comes to mind is a tremendous opportunity to be a part of something great. There was a move, there was a wind that was blowing throughout the nations, and that is, towards the advancement, the nationalism, and toward the growth and opportunity for economic empowerment. And so Government I gave us an opportunity whereby we could be qualified to occupy the positions that we need to build this new Bahamas.
Was there something, as you sat Vincent Vanderpool Wallace in Government High School, was there something that said to you, I'm going to be great, I'm going to have a great opportunity, I'm going to have this big post in tourism, our #1 industry? Was there something that happened while you were attending class that said to you, this institution is doing more than just giving me an education?
Well, yeah, there's really no question about that. You got a sense that you were in a place that's very, very special. I tell people all the time, I learned as much from my teachers as I learned from my peers. That is one of the great things that I think people remember about Government High School. I mean, Manny and I in the same class, and among the other people whose name you remember, I can tell you by individual some of the things I learned from them to this day. Wow. Because that's so important. I mean, you mentioned the Governors General. I mean, what's also included 3 prime ministers, including Hubert Ingram, who went to the Evening Institute to finish his secondary school, came from Government High School. But in truth, you never thought about it that way while you were there. Right. You just had the good fortune of being selected to come to that school, and now our responsibility is to continue that legacy and make sure that the children who are there now, the kids who are there now, recognize when you put that blue and white on, that's special. Yeah. That's different.
Was that around from then, the uniform?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. It never changed.
Wow. And we always have this discussion about the school uniforms, because that blue and white stood out. You know, and the red and white from Western Senior, the orange and white from A.F. Hadley. Not A.F. Hadley, from
Southern.
No.
What's that, Southern?
Harold Road. They used to call it Harold Road.
Highbury High?
Harold Road.
Yeah.
Harold Road.
Right.
And but those colors, they stood out. But now you see they have the plaids and everybody's just, it's just all mixed up and confusing. But one thing, Government High kept the blue and white. And I think that was a good thing, because now we're able now to look at that and see how we can bring back what we seem to have lost.
You mentioned something just now that stuck to me and is still on my mind, that you learned as much from your peers as you learned from teachers. And do you believe that's an equation that's missing today in our schools? The fact that sometimes the peers are more of a distraction than they are an educational forum that you can rub off and learn from. Do you believe that equation is what's missing from a lot of our institutions today?
I was born in Grantstown, Martin Street. My grandmother told me, you are known by the company you keep. And so when you start talking about your peers, you want to associate yourself with people who are winners, who are going places. And the good things about Government High, you were very hard-pressed to find anybody who wasn't.
Right.
Everybody was trying to do some very special things, no matter where you looked. And so you found that to be a talent, that a variety of talents that you found in that in that school, that you see come through to their lives for a long time afterwards.
Tell us some of the things that the centennial celebrations included. I'm seeing here Phoenix Awards, Careers Fair, Special Assembly. Talk about some of these events that are happening this year.
But I can tell you, one of the things that we can't forget is this gentleman by the name of Paul Fernanda, and certainly Vaughn Albury, who is here. Organizational skills, off the chart. What they did, everything you just described, they're the ones who set that up and make it happen. So the Centennial Ball, which was held this past Saturday, the event we had on Friday at Government High School that's here today, and all the other things that are going on, including having the great joy of Dame Janet Boswick, who was one of the speakers and wants to set up a foundation to move this forward.
I was just about to ask you, because she spoke on Friday. She's the head girl of GHS 1956. She told alumni and students that if you want to see the impact of GHS, look at your money. The faces on today's currency are from GHS.
That's correct. That's correct. And by the way, she was from Martin Street, the same place as us too. I just want to make sure anybody understand that.
Yes, and my face is on the $5 bill. It's a junkanoo.
That's amazing. That's amazing. As we wrap up, what does it mean, more than just a celebration this year? What does it mean for this institution a century later to still be recognized as a grand institution that's still making its mark?
Well, I think that it is because of the alumni that we have made a commitment to restore what was lost. And believe it or not, we can learn from the current Government High School students. Because that awesome band that they have, I said, we never had it.
That's right.
So, you know, and so Government High now is a minded school, I understand.
Yes, for music.
Yes. So these are the kind of things. So there's something there. It may be different, and maybe we need to look at it from a different perspective. But it's still the spirit of excellence that we need to put there, and of course, in nationalism. That's one of the things that I was told to promote. That's what we have to promote. That we need
patriotism, nationalism.
Patriotism.
No question about it.
We need to have people who can contribute back, because if you look at the graduates of Government High School, they are here. We are here, and we are making a contribution.
You know, one of the things, just to add to what Dr. Francis said, one of the things that I certainly remember is that, and I shared this with him, I was shocked to find out through my lifetime people who I admired and people who I had a great deal of respect for that I never knew went to Government High School until the very first full-time employment I had was Dr. Baltron Bethel, Subaltern Bethel. The young lady who worked in the Ministry of Tourism, Pamela Lowe, in research, phenomenal. Many years later, I decided to go to her funeral. I find out in her obituary, Government High School. Wow. The history book that's just been written, 5 of the 12 authors, Government High School, with 2 editors, Government High School. And so what you find is that everywhere you look, and you look for these people, they're not bragging about it. By the way, this is our 100th anniversary.
I'm looking at it right now. My eyes are on it all night.
Just want to let you know
amazing.
that. And so Matthew 7:16 says, you shall know them by their fruits. That's how you know government high school people.
Yes,
well said.
And you see, Vince is wearing the government high crest.
That's right.
Which has on it the Latin. You know, he and I won
Nisi
Latin
Dominus
schools.
Frustra.
Nisi Dominus Frustra.
What does that mean?
Unless the Lord help us, we labor in vain.
Oh, boy.
That it literally means, Nisi Dominus Frustra literally means, unless the Lord, frustration.
Right.
But it comes from Psalm 127. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Unless the Lord
help us,
we labor in vain.
Yeah.
Unless the Lord build a house.
Yeah.
Right.
They labor
right.
in vain that build it, except the Lord build a city,
Yes.
the watchman waketh, but in vain. And so that lets us know that whatever we do, this is our motto. We can do nothing unless the Lord helps us.
Yeah.
And I think that was key.
That's key.
So we were rooted and grounded in spirituality.
No question.
Everybody had a little hymn book.
That's
with
right.
500 hymns in it.
That's right.
It's amazing.
And then we talk about you go to any kind of official funeral, you hear them play I Vow to Thee, My Country. That's our school song.
Yes.
Wow. So you can tell government high people in looking at no paper, they can go to them 3 verses off the top of their head. So all that is very
we
part
have
of
a
it.
school prayer. It says, teach us, good Lord, to save thee as thou deservest, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for reward, saving that and knowing that we do the will of the Lord.
Well
through
said.
Jesus Christ.
Father Francis. All right.
Well done. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on tonight. And congratulations to Government High School for an amazing century. Let's go for a century more, would you say?
I wanted to celebrate that one too. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much. That does it for the rundown. Remember to stay tuned to tomorrow night, the rundown on leadership every Thursday with Ahmad Rashad Thompson. He'll be behind the desk talking about leadership. And stay locked to the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest news and information with Royston Jones. He's upstairs getting ready for the 11 o'clock news. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Good night. I'll see you back here on Monday on the rundown. Good night, everyone.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS. You and Your Money is brought to you by the National Insurance Board, Sun Oil, Leno, and Focol.